quote we chose today says, extraordinary is who and what you are. Were you raised to believe that? When you were little, were you told those words? Probably wasn't told those exact words, but I was raised to know that I was and I am extraordinary. I grew up in a home where I was always encouraged, and I've said this many times before, and I've written about it, where I was always encouraged to try whatever I wanted. My word had meaning. Whatever I said had, an importance in the family. My presence mattered, and they made it very clear to me my whole life. Still to this day, I'm still in the full awareness of how much my family loves me and how extraordinary they think I am, which of course makes me believe I am. Yet it can only take one person saying something out of line, out of time, at a moment when you might not be fully, feeling the greatest. And that comment, that word, that attitude, that action towards you makes you immediately disregard your beliefs of how extraordinary you are and go into a mode of like, oh my God, who am I and why am I acting like this? And why am I behaving like this? And who would love me this way? Recently, I have become fully aware of how many people I've been having the opportunity to relate to a certain group of people where there's a lot of people who are not aware of how extraordinary they are. And actually, I don't know how extraordinary they are, but I'm sure that they don't know how extraordinary they are. And it is mind-blowing to me. The way that I'm raising my children, the way that I know Pat is raising her granddaughter, is that in the full belief that they are extraordinary. Yet, we live in a society where the word of another can completely destroy that foundation we're giving our children. And I wonder why. Just wonder why.
Yeah, extraordinary is such a big word. And before we got here, we knew we were extraordinary. And then as soon as we, landed here, we forgot. And we were talking, and part of our process here is to remember we are all extraordinary. If we used a word to describe our gods, we would use extraordinary. And since we are all, I believe we are all an aspect of our gods, then we're all extraordinary. And you're right, it only takes one moment of vulnerability to forget that truth. So, living an extraordinary life sounds big, but maybe it's just as simple as being the best you in that moment consistently. Maybe it's that easy to be extraordinary.
Maybe it is. Now, being extraordinary doesn't mean believing you are extraordinary, which you are, doesn't mean you become arrogant and, react arrogantly when somebody gives you a compliment or something like that. It takes also ownership of knowing that you are extraordinary and that you believe it, show it, and accept it with gratefulness when somebody else acknowledges it.
And in grace.
Yes.
And in grace.
So this week, know you are extraordinary. Show it. Put it out there. Let people see how extraordinary you are. Because you are. We all are. And let's try, for all of us, let's try not to allow the words, actions, or, reactions of others to make us believe for a moment that we are not extraordinary. Thank you.